So, hello once again. I'm not too sure what's exactly going on. It says, I've just checked, I am streaming. I'm definitely here on my screen. I've just checked, I've just restarted all and everything, that I am streaming on the League of Europe channel as well. Whether it's actually being streamed or not, I don't know. I'm not too sure why it's not being streamed if so. I am very confused at the minute as... Yeah. It says I'm on air on League of Europe. Yeah. Mute, I'm on mute. Overlay options, display chat. That's it. So it is on my screen. I am streaming. However, it doesn't seem to be streaming. Oh, there we go. It is now streaming. So why it's decided to... Why it wasn't working the first time round, I don't know. Many apologies, as I have just spoke about the entire sprint race to myself by the looks of it, which is lovely. I mean, yeah, I'm guessing that footage is just nowhere to be seen, which is yeah, great. Anyway, so George Russell, he was on pole. He won the sprint race. No, Verstappen won the sprint race with Russell in P2. He finished P3. Don't even know if he finished P3 now. We'll show the results at the end anyway. Fingers Jawbream. As we will now wait for can we have a decent position? No, we can't. So lights out and away we go for the feature race here in Brazil. George Russell gets a very good start there in comparison to Jawbream. So we'll keep the lead heading into turn one. Felipe and Luke side by side. Can they keep it very clean, everyone? Many people side by side, and yeah, everything's all good by the looks of it on stream, and yeah. So we was supposed to have 21 people. I'm not too sure. So Chicken wasn't going to commentate. He's playing FM instead. Sure, you can hear he can chat about his FM games in the chat. But yeah, we are here at Brazil. I don't even know what I said in the sprint race, so I'm just going to ignore what I said in the sprint race. Liam was in the lobby, so he was able to race. I'm not too sure. Like, we've had this before with Liam, where he's just joined midway through a session and he's been able to race. Why he's not been able to race this week, I am unaware. We've finally got viewers as well. Hello all. Nice to actually be speaking to someone, not just myself, I guess. Yeah, as we head on to the end of lap one, we got 20 laps. I'll have a look now on what tyres everyone is. Majority are on the softs, with Luke on medium, so he will be hoping to take those tyres a decent way into the Grand Prix, and then yeah, hopefully he can defend against the likes of QVR Chill for now and whatnot. So I'm going to have the stream on. As Brendan says hello. Hello, Brendan. Hope you're doing well. Glad to see people in the chat. Why is the intervals now messed up? I don't know this game's broken completely. Glad I'm not racing this weekend. Speaking of this weekend, if you are interested in Formula 1 racing, not the Formula 2 cars this time, the Formula 1 cars, we've got the best drivers in the world, none of this you know what me stuff, racing at Saturday 6 PM for Division 1 and 3, and then Division 2 and 4 at 8:10. I'm usually in Division 2. However, I will not be this week, but a lot of familiar faces will be in both Division 1 and 2 lobbies, and 3 and 4, I think. As it says, George Russell has a 1 minute interval to Jawbream. He does not. Jawbream is well within DRS, and they've both absolutely driven off from Ariel Felipe in third, who after his nightmare of a sprint race will be hoping for some good points in the feature. As Luke now defending from Chill, he's obviously going to have a lot of work cut out, Luke, to try and keep this P4. He managed to do quite well in defending in the sprint race, so hopefully he'll be looking to do the same thing here. But on those medium tyres, him and Matt have got their work cut out for sure to keep everyone behind, which they are doing quite dramatically at the minute. The likes of Miami Verstappen, our sprint race winner. If you all did miss that, yes. Campbell in 9th, P's 10th, Scream, Taupe in 11th for 12th, and then a little gap to Larkin and Darry on the mediums in 13th and 14th. I'm not too sure what happened at the back, as we do have also a new driver, as I said in the start of the stream, Ian Dan, also known as Excel Dan, we're just going to say, as he only brought the game last week. So fair play for him for being competitive at all. A very good driver, Dan. Yeah, as I was saying, Jawbream and Nathan, they've been by far the quickest drivers all week, all race at Brazil, or today, I say. I can't really say all weekend. It doesn't work like that. And yes, I do have a cold if anyone is wondering. As Jawbream sets the fastest lap of the race, he's currently sitting in the DRS of Nathan. I don't know what exactly his game plan is. I don't know if he's going to try and undercut him, overcut him. Who knows, to be honest. As we've got a nice little exhaust cam for what's going on, as Creco is round at the back and without a bit of wings, so that's not good for the REL driver, or the VAR driver, I guess. Matt is in P5, doing very well for himself actually, as, I don't know, Luke's in P7, so two medium drivers holding on well. Their tyres will slowly come into effect as the race goes on, and I don't see the softs lasting that long. Personally, I think 14 laps on mediums they did in the start, so either the softs can only do about 10 laps max, or they just die off very quickly. Either way, Matt and Luke will be trying to stick with the drives that around him. As a P4, even P3 really is on for both of them today, if they play the strategy right. As Matt has now got a Miami all over the back of him. We're on lap 5 already. That's gone very quickly, I tell you what. As Jawbream still all over the back of Nathan, yet doing absolutely nothing about it, so we're going to leave them for now. As Miami, purple last sector, well done him. However, he is not in Miami, he's in Brazil, so as he gets past Cuvier Matthias, as Matthias now with DRS, can he make the move back on the MP driver? I'm going to say he cannot, as Luke is into P7 ahead of Verstappen. Did he overtake? I don't know. As we've got a car off, as it is Eon Dan in the wall, sector 1, just as I was praising him. He's gonna mend it. Not very good, is it? Yeah, as I was saying, everyone's gone back to school work this week, I suppose, if you're a teacher. And everyone's caught a cold in a heat wave. I mean, this is just UK things, really. So, yeah, sorry if I sound dead. I'm trying to be active. I've got a theory about it all. But I mentioned that last time and I don't want to mention it again. So, you all missed out on my theory. Shame on you. As we're now going to look down the grid, as we're going to find the front of the train, which is Miami, is the front of the train. Which Chill is technically, but none of these guys are really... Scream is probably the closest to making a move. Larkin and Taupe behind them as well. Slowly catching on to this trainers. This is the problem really in Brazil. In F2 cars especially, I think this I don't know if it's just this game or what. As Miami now looking to make a move on the Chill down the inside, very late on the brakes from... I don't know where he's from. I don't know. Miami anyway. He's from Miami, I'm going to say. Even though I know that's not the case. Very late on the brakes against Cuba Chill. Very clean racing between the two of them here. Very hard to make that side-by-side work at all there, so credit to the both of them. They're also holding up the train massively, allowing Ariel Felipe just to kind of drive off and not be bothered really. As Miami still trying to get the move done. They've been side by side for an entire lap now. We'll have the inside line, however, still can't make it done. Matt is going to be fuming here because his medium strategy is going into the bin, as well as Luke here. They're both trying to get past QVR Chill. Going onto this straight, I can expect to see a lot of chaos, as they're all going to have DRS. Chill is going to be almost a sitting duck here, as quite a few drivers are pitted actually. A lot getting 5 seconds penalties as well. I say a lot, I think 2 did. As they're still side by side here, Chill and Miami. I mean, they ever going to not be side by side? Felipe is going like a second this last lap alone. And now we're going to make a 3 wide with Matt into turn 4. Matt will get at least one of the moves done, I believe. Yeah, he'll get the move done on Miami. As Miami picks up a penalty for track limits. And yeah. Brilliant racing from everyone involved there, as Luke and Verstappen now deciding it's their turn to go side by side. So Verstappen down the inside of that corner. Luke will get the better exit, however, better traction, I suppose. I don't know. Yeah. As they now decided we're going to go side by side for the entirety of the race. As Matt looking to get away from Luke, I suppose, on those mediums. I'm guessing a lot of these soft drivers will come in this lap. As I said, 6 laps. As Jawbream picks up a 5-second time penalty in the pit lane. So that pretty much decides that Nathan's going to win this race, barring any massive bottling. As Chill also picks up a penalty. There's a lot of people once again seem to be picking up penalties. Guys, you just need to learn how to pit properly. We spoke about this in Qatar. Too many of you got penalties there. As Matt has kind of done bits there. He's got a 7/10 gap to Miami, who will most likely pit this lap, who's 3 or so tenths ahead of Luke. And if he can pull that gap out a little bit more, it should allow him a little bit of breathing room to the other medium runner, as well as Larkin, and I suppose Darry's a bit further back. So as this stands, Matt is the race leader. He's not the provisional race leader. That is Mr. George Russell himself, who's dropped 1.3 seconds back out of Jawbream. So Jawbream's going to have his work cut out to get that 5-second gap. Or unless Nathan picks up a penalty, then it's only a 2-second gap he needs. So we'll be interested to see how that one folds out as the race goes on. We've only got 12 laps left, thankfully for me. However, the race has been very good, but I am got a very blocked nose, so I would like it to end quickly. As heading on to straight now, Matt has basically got that 1-second gap to Miami. Miami will come into the pits, so will Ariel Pease. Will any of them pick up a penalty this time round? Doesn't seem like it, as RJ does it as well. I mean, he's actually watching the stream as well, I suppose. He might not be, because it's not actually been streaming for the first part of this, but guys, we've been through this. You just got to brake early. Just be safe on the brakes. It's not that difficult, lads. It's not that difficult. However, Matt and Luke now take provisional 1-2, so if there's a safety car any time now, not saying there will be, it'd be brilliant for them too, and Larkin, and Darry, and Killer, I suppose. And Callie's still on the softs. Has there been any comments on the stream? And yeah, I know it is quite a shock to see the George Russell racing in LOE. This is just kind of the quality we attract here at League of Europe. I mean, professional F1 drivers, you don't see that at PSGL. Don't see that at, what was I said, AOR. What other big leads are there? There ain't any really. There's only PSGL that I suppose are any sort of size at all. But yeah, it is the real George Russell. It's definitely not a QVR Nathan at all. He loves Brazil. We saw him win there last season. And yeah, Luke has got back into that DRS of Matt, so these two will have quite a good scrap, I believe, for the race lead at the time. Larkin also holding on to these two quite well. He's Just needs that DRS just to help him rhythm a little further, and yeah, the rest is as it goes. Scream. Look, once again, trying to get a move on QVR Chill. It's kind of been the theme of Brazil, people trying to overtake QVR Chill. Verstappen, one of the only drivers back here that doesn't have a penalty, going for the move on Scream. Gets it done very nicely into turn 1. And now we'll look as the lovely rear end of QVR Chill to look at, heading around the rest of the lap. Maybe not even the rest of the lap, as he got a much better run through turn 2 and 3. Can he get a move done? QVR Chill will force him to the outside. Can he? Is there enough space? There is not. And it allows Ariel Scream back down the inside. He will have to go around the outside into this corner though. And he thinks better of it. Very, very safe driving from Scream there. Definitely the right call as well. As Felipe now, he's only 6 seconds ahead of the fighting punch. So he seems to have P3 kind of settled for now, I'd say. Russell back into the DRS of Dual Bream, so that little battle for the win is kind of null and void at the minute unless Nathan gets a penalty. Sorry, not Nathan. George Russell gets a penalty. Luke's still in the DRS and Matt, but not close enough to really make any sort of effort as George Russell sets the fastest lap. Very Brazil 2022-esque. So clearly a big fan of the track is George Russell, and yeah. There's QVR Verstappen, still behind QVR Chill. Chill running those extra super speedy wings that we see so often last week in Qatar. Verstappen, he had very good pace in the sprint race. Can he unlock that pace once again in the feature? He just seemed to have it slightly in him, but he's got nowhere to go at the minute. QVR Campbell, by the way, absolute masterclass strategy, pitting the lap before everyone else. Shout out to him. He's now closing, despite his 5 second penalty, he is now closing in on Ariel Felipe, who's doing absolutely nothing in a very good position. So fair play to him. Yeah, RJ getting 5 second penalties does happen a lot, Brendan. I know. Can't teach him anything. Can't teach his drivers a thing. As Luke has decided to go for the undercut and not speed into pit. Well done, Luke. You are a legend for not speeding into pit lane. If you know, you know. However, Matt decides to stay on an extra lap, so we'll have 8 laps, I'd say, to do on the soft tyres at the end. So not a nice little stint on those softs. Luke obviously will get the lap undercut, which may be very effective for him, to be honest. As Matt, I've had a word with you about speeding into pit lane, so if you do it this weekend, I'll be very annoyed. Yeah, George Russell doesn't really have to do anything at the minute. He kind of could just sit in Dual Bream's DRS and he's got nothing to worry about. He's got a 7 second gap to P3 as Luke has came out right to the back of this pack. So obviously they've decided to go for this medium soft strategy. Doesn't seem to be the best one because obviously all these medium soft guys that went to mediums have now done the undercut on them. They've got to get themselves through the traffic, which won't be fun. Let's be real. Will Matt come into the pits? He does. I'm watching as he gets a pit lane penalty. Okay, Matt, you've learnt nothing. Larkin, I think very cleverly, staying out for now. Killer, not getting a speed penalty. Well done, you. As Dual Bream and George Russell, they are actually battling a little bit into turn 1. Yeah. Not sure why. If I was Nathan, I'd literally just sit behind and do nothing, enjoy an ice cream or something. As Matt comes out from the pit lane into, where's Luke? I don't know if Luke took the pit lane very slowly or what, as Matt has come out acres in front of the other soft runner. However, just unfortunately for him, just behind Ariel Pease. So once he's got those softs up and running, Pease is probably a quite big threat to losing the position. As QVR Verstappen in other news has finally got past Chill. And is within 5 seconds of Felipe. So he's on for P4 at the minute here. So a very, very solid weekend from the QVR driver. I don't know the team name. I cannot be bothered to learn them, to be honest. As once again, Larkin is now going into the pits. Very, I think, clever of him. Can he make the pit lane? He can. Well done, Larkin. Dual ream now under massive threat from Nathan. It's the only thing going on at the minute. As into turn 1 he goes. Nathan takes the lead back. Bob's your uncle. As we're now going to be on board with Matt against Pease. Despite Pease having DRS, Matt actually with some straight line speed in the car, which is nice to see. And down the inside he goes. Very nice move from the high-tech driver. And into P8 he goes. Anything else? Larkin has pit. He's going to come up. I think Matt may have sped a bit too, obviously, because he's come out in a gap. As he's now crashed into Ariel Scream. I'm not too sure what went on there. I think there's a bit of late moving from both of them. However, that has ruined both their races. So, yeah. Fun times at Brazil, really. I mean, obviously, if I was driving, I've said this on the other stream, I'm not allowed to race today because I got a specific message from Mr. RGW saying that if you do race, it's not fair on everyone else, including George Russell. George Russell, you know, quite a celeb, as I am just too fast to Brazil. So, if you wonder why Mr. Ben JS isn't driving, that is the reason. Funky Chicken's not here because, well, he wants to play it. We were supposed to have 21 drivers, so can't blame him, really. As I did want him here, I do miss him. He had a very special commentary lined up today, and I'm very annoyed you guys can't see it, but he will be back next week. So he will be doing commentary next week, whether he likes it or not, as long as he's here, obviously. As Luke is still behind Matt. I mean, Matt, considering he technically drove into the back of someone. He's doing quite well for himself, really. He's still on the back of Pease and Chill. Chill, I kind of feel sorry for him. He's had a great qualifying and he's just been defending the entire race, both the sprint and the feature as well. And he's put up a sterling effort. He is ahead of it, and also he's ahead of his love story RJW as well. So, I guess that's good news for him at least. As QVR Verstappen is slowly closing in on QVR Campbell. Not really enough to make much of an impact, and yeah, Nola's still chilling in P3. What will you do? These two are just having a battle for the sake of it now. If these do keep battling, however, Ariel Felipe may sense P2 is on the cards, because battling like this will only cost them both time, as they are being very erratic right now. I'm not sure why these two are battling like mad. I think if I was Joel Bream, I kind of know the race win isn't on the cards, so I'd just chill instead of trying. Maybe they're in a party together and battling, that's maybe why. As there is a QVR Chill round, which, as I said, he was ahead of his love story RJ. He is now not. Sorry for commentating, cursing you there, Chill. I will not be sending you anything in insurance, I don't know what it's called. My brain is on its last cells, that's for sure. As these two continue to go at it, Ariel Felipe, if you are watching, hurry up and get within 5 seconds of these lot, because you've got a chance here. As Matt and Luke still on these soft tyres, still not really be able to do much. Luke in P6, maybe P5 by the end of the race if Lewis's penalty can get close enough to that. Unlikely. As there's a yellow flag in sector 2, and Nathan has got himself a 3-second time penalty. I've been through this. These two are battling. I know it's F2 and it's a bit of fun, but if you want to win, just drive simple. This is obviously another reason why I'm not allowed to race because I'm just, legit, like, an esports driver, basically, now. I think that's my title. So, yeah. As in Sector 3, there is a QVR chill round once again. So, that is Chill's race absolutely in the bin. Dan in P17, going well for him. As what on earth is going on here? As there's a virtual safety car now. As Chill, I don't know what he's done, but yeah. I'm going to say nothing because it's F2. So, that's all I'm going to say. But, yeah. It's been a very entertaining race so far. I'm going to check the comments again now because I've got nothing else to do. Ben is a true growth Brazil, let's be honest. I agree, Brendan. I think Matt has left the session. Oh god. Everything's kicking off really here. The virtual safety car has ended. Brendan also sent me a gif of Sneeze. Yes, that is exactly me right now, Brendan, that gif. If you are still watching, I don't know if you are. What is going on? I don't know. Matt, oh no. Oh no. Yeah. Matt's AI decided to pit, obviously, because it makes sense to pit in a 20 lap race twice. I mean, is it changing his wing? It's not even changing, it's generally just for, we need a new set of softs. Great. That's, unfortunately for Matt, his race ruined. I do sympathise. Been there myself. Yeah. RJ side by side with Taupe, having a nice little battle. A bit argy-bargy from the both of them, but, makes it work, doesn't it? I'm kind of looking at the guys who don't have penalties here. They're on for real big points. Darry will move past all of these guys he's battling. Verstappen will definitely jump Campbell, so will Luke. Maybe even Pease, to be honest, if he can get a move on. Who's had I think I could give driver of the day to Pease. As I said, Darry will jump all of these people. He has gone and minned it. Guys, honestly, this makes me not miss F2 driving in it. It really doesn't. However, we are on the penultimate lap of the race now. QVR Killer into P9. He has also driven a very good race. I will start around P18. Let's have a look at position change. So highest position change, QVR Killer in P10 and P's in P7. So I think P's keeping it clean. I think that's the reason why he'll have my driver of the day. Go-to driver. So QVR Killer and honourable P2, to be honest. And then I think a bit of a tie between Verstappen and Russell for P3. Russell obviously had very good pace all weekend. I'm saying all weekend like it's been a weekend. It's literally a Monday night. However, yeah, I think if we're basing just on the feature race, P's gets my vote. There's no one else here to argue otherwise, so yeah, deal with it, really. Yeah. As we head into the final lap, we're right on board with the front two, who, despite their penalties and ridiculous battling, are still 7.5 seconds clear rest of P3 man Ariel Felipe, who's driven brilliantly, I will say. Kept himself clean in the sprint in the feature, and yeah, very deserving of that P3. No penalties either, so shout out to that. But yeah, these front two have just been on like their own. These two, they're now battling stupidly, so I'm going to leave them. But they've been a class above the rest of the field, to be honest. I low-key want them to battle enough that Felipe wins. I think that'll be perfect, really. However, yeah, it's been a very entertaining race. I've not really stopped talking for 20 minutes, which is surprising enough too. I think it's the first time, really, this happened. As Matt is in the pits again. Does AI pit again? Oh dear, oh dear. However, to come across the line, Jorbreen will win on track. However, not on, well, after penalties, George Russell will be the winner of Brazil. Takes the Grand Slam. I'm not sure if he's got fastest lap. I hope he does, but that is P1 and P2. Felipe in P3. QVR Verstappen in P4. Luke in P5. Very nice drive from him on those soft tyres at the end. Campbell in 6th with a very good strategy to get ahead of the rest. P's in P7. My driver of the day. Killer 8th with those penalties coming in clutch by the looks of it. California 9th. Darry in 10th once again those penalties. All you have to do is be clean. It's mad. Miami 11th. Larkin in 12th. Tope 13th. Scream 14th. RJW in 15th. Not the weekend he probably would have wanted after he paced last weekend and the week before, but I'm sure he'll be just fine for next week. Dan on his F2 debut on a solid P16. Oh, mate, I think we just give him a point for that, really. I know. Farrell decided to tear up half the track in P17, and Matt, very unfortunately for him, will finish P18 as he's lagged out the server. So yeah, that is it for this week. I'm very sorry the sprint wasn't streaming. On my end, I was streaming, so there's not much really I can do about that. But you got to see me for the second half of the thing, which I suppose is something, I guess. Standings wise, Judge Russell will definitely be in the lead. Here we go. I can show you the sprint results here. So if you want to have a look at the sprint results, there they are. Quite an entertaining weekend on the whole, to be honest. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. We are back in F1 this Sunday. No, not this Sunday. It's this Saturday. Division 1 to 4, 6:30 for Division 1 and 3, and 8:10 PM for Division 2 and 4. I will not be there this week, but after that I will be. So I hope you all watch there. It's been Ben JS. Funky Chicken will be back next week as well, don't worry. And I'll see you all next week for, I'm not sure what race it is, but it'll be a surprise to me, surprise to all of us. Thank you all for watching. And